So the first thing that I'm going to show you is the what we call quick filtering. It's very, Marfeel is used by lots of non-analysts, people from the newsroom, people that, might not be used to the naming conventions that we have at Marfeel or by some of the dimensions that we have. And for example, if you want to just filter out by, I don't know, Google Discover, you know that you can click here. But something that you can do now is that you can type anything you want, like on the top bar, and that's going to bring you the results. You click here and everything is filtered on real time. Some of the filters, everything is here. So if I want to filter like by the traffic that I've got in Canada, I can just filter by country and I don't need to remember the name of each of the properties. So most importantly, it's not only that we are just relying on our own dimensions, but for example, if I just want to see what Thomas Neal just wrote, the system is intelligent enough just to understand that it's an author. I click here and it allows me to filter and just see the articles that this person wrote. We've taken this farther away. And for example, and believe it or not, I'm going to perform a search on real time in a fraction of a second on top of the entire article base or the entire archive of a publisher, okay? That in lots of cases, it can be like millions of articles. So for example, oops, sorry about that. I'm going to search for Moon, which is like a stock, and it comes up with all the results of articles embedding or mentioning this word, and I can do anything that I need. Okay, just look at the speed, everything flies. And obviously, you can just search for anything on the URL as well. So, and when you click on this article, it's going to open it straight away and get into the details without any waiting. And for people that is just encoding things on the URL or just, I don't know, you remember that you were speaking about something, but you don't really remember how to find that article, you will be able to do that. We've tested this at scale with accounts with more than 60 million articles, and it works as fast as I'm showing. So yeah, that's the first thing that I wanted to show you for today, which is quick filtering. Second thing is that, so Marfeel is getting big. There are lots of things, and we keep adding like lots of things at, I don't know, at a fast pace. And sometimes you ask us, hey, what's this RFB? You don't really know what, or you don't remember about the exact definition that we've got. So right now, we can ask the system anything. So let's see what happens. So all in a sudden, and this is, like ChatGPT, but it's our ChatGPT. So it's been trained on our documentation base, and all the questions that you make are going to go directly into the into our system, and it's going to give you like a definition based on that. More than that, it creates like a synthesized, we are using ChatGPT behind the scenes just to end up generating the text. And when this ends up typing, which by the way, you can click and it's going to finalize it automatically, you are going to see links just taking you to the documentation page where this has been taken from. Okay, so theoretically, there should be no inventions or hallucinations from ChatGPT in this end, because we've fully trained this on our own content. Okay, so here we go, and we have the links. If there are more links, we will see more. But yeah, it's not only that we can ask things in English. For example, I'm just going to ask it like on a, I don't know, a language that I don't speak, but I thought it would be fine. So even I ask it on Chinese. Okay, so we are dynamically translating, and obviously you can ask it in Portuguese, you can ask it in Spanish, and everything is going to work as you expect. It's not only that you can ask for things about what it is on the UI, but for example, if you want to improve your RFV, you can ask the system, how can I improve RFV? Okay, and the system is just going to find out the right documentation, the right everything, and it's going to come back with the right answer to you. So this is, as I was saying, as I was mentioning, this is connected to our documentation base. We are investing a lot into getting it better. Okay, so expect a lot of information coming pretty soon. Okay, but when we were thinking about AI, what we thought is like, yeah, that's cool, but it's not that cool. Okay, so this is something we should have got for a long time, and that everyone is going to have like sooner than later, I guess. And we thought, hey, what else would people be asking to the system? And what we realized is that even though we invest a lot in our UI to make things fast, to make data accessible and breaking all these barriers, people still doesn't feel kind of that comfortable. We get lots of questions on our intercom channel asking for things. Hey, how can I know which were the top 3 articles that that we wrote yesterday? So we decided to go for it. And look, what we can do now is ask directly the system, what were the top 3 articles yesterday? So I'm just writing and trying to speak at the same time. I'm realizing that it's harder than it looked like. But yeah, this is now performing, it's analyzing my question. You can do it in natural language processing, and look, faster than I'm able to explain. You get the answer coming from our API. So no invention at all. And we've created our own models just to do all these kind of things. So you may ask, and you may be thinking, Xavi is tricking me. This cannot be real. So this question is prepared. So, and again, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to be copying and pasting this from what I've got in the site. What I'm going to ask the system is, hey, can you tell me which were the articles with the most traffic from Canada yesterday? Okay, this is an American site. It has a little bit of traffic from Canada. So let's see what it comes up with. So we count to 10. It takes a while normally. What it takes longer normally is to generate the written answer. So which is what comes from ChatGPT, but just in a sudden, we are going to get it. The thing, and there we go, the top 3 articles that had the most traffic from Canada yesterday. Now, I'm not sure how many articles this is going to give me because I didn't specify that I only wanted 3, so maybe it's going to give me 10. But we can wait, or maybe it's going to take a while. Let's see what it does. But what I like it the most is that when it completes writing, it gives me the links so I can go into the report. Okay, so let's wait. As I speak, I'm going to let this writing. But when it gives me the links, what we are trying to do here is train you and assist you into learning how to get the data. You can ask obviously about traffic, audience, which were the top topics, what should I write about? You can ask anything about specific authors. So for example, again, I'm just waiting for this one. Well, this is going to come with the table. So I'm just going to perform another question. So I'm going to ask for the top 3 topics that bring more traffic when William White writes. William White is an author just on this publication. So I hope that this only gives me 3 topics, and it's going to give me the link just going to the right report. So again, we not only provide you information about audience, but you can get information about monetization, advertising, subscriptions. You can ask anything the system, and we are just going to put in front of you, giving the links to you for you to keep reading. Okay, so all these, yeah, there is a lot of AI, there is a lot of generative text into everything. I have to say you that there is like an entire team, part of Marfeel, that any question that doesn't work or that we see that didn't come back with the right information, we will be reviewing them manually. Okay, so just start using it like in a few minutes when we release everything, and we will be on top. If you see something that doesn't make sense, just come to our intercom channel, and you know that we have like a 7-star support service. Good, but yeah, so there is like a few thousand people today on the webinar, and yeah, making all this, it's super interesting. We opened this to a few beta testers like a few weeks ago, but yeah, we wanted to make a little bit more noise. So let's see what else did we do. So now, I'm starting today, when you click on any of the articles, you will see a new module that, yeah, is part of the Marfeel Copilot. And there are like different bullet points, which is what you can assume to be like prompts, okay, what you would give to ChatGPT. So we have identified that depending on the newsroom, headlines are like painful to write. Some other publications take it very seriously, and it's not something that they would like a generative AI solution to take care of. But what we are doing here is like, yeah, based on your own data, and I'll tell you how we've trained all those models, based on the CTR, based on all the variants that you've put on your A/B test, we just teach the system, and it makes you different proposals on how you could just write a good headline for this article that would make sense. Now, this is coming from heads-up display information, A/B testing, and if not, we fall back to some default standards based on the author, the section that it belongs to, and obviously, as you will see in a minute, we are taking into consideration language. Not only that, but all of you know that creating and writing a headline is not the same for the article or the headline for the homepage or the headlines for Google Discover. This is why we've got like a new integration with Search Console. Okay, you will see that as I'm going today, the new integration screen is completely brand new. There are like lots of different new integrations. One of them being Google Search Console. With Google Search Console integration, what we can do is get information about how an article has been exposed on Google Discover feeds, even though we didn't get any click into it. So it effectively allows us to compute the CTR. Based on that, and on your top hits on Google Discover for this author, this section, and a similarity, we just make recommendations on good headlines that maybe could work for Google Discover. Again, a lot of training. This is not just coming out of the box from a ChatGPT. There is a lot of data. This is data enriched prompts with models backing this up behind the scenes. Also, well, for those of you that realized this is like an economical site, so it's subject to things like your money, your lifestyle rules, or like EAT, those terms that are very relevant to SEO. So what we decide is that, now that we have like access to a large language model, can we analyze the article and provide the feedback as if we were content writers, what Google has never done? Can we analyze this article and provide feedback about it? And this is telling me that the article is good. I'll just open another one that classified as something to be improved, but it tells you and helps leveling up writing skills, well, not writing skills, but positioning skills in terms of SEO. Okay, so giving you all the details that you always wanted to have in terms of SEO that, Google has been kind of a little bit blurry about them. So there is like this generic guidelines starting today. And again, this doesn't come from Google, it comes from us, but we've done it based on their documentation. Let's see if this is like something that, an article that needs to be improved. And you will see how concise and actionable the feedback that it provides is. So again, this, for example, is going to give us information, and it's going to tell us that I don't know, that we need to be cautious because we are making like economical recommendations and financial recommendations, and it gives you all the concerns that Google might have when distributing this article. So lots of interesting things here. Another thing when creating a story is like, positioning it right at the distribution level, and second order questions. So what interested readers might be asking Google so that the article can be like a potential answer. So how can we help you editors position your articles on the snippets boxes? So this is why we came up with this prompt. Again, is enriched with data. And what we are, this is analyzing the article and making questions that you might not be addressing directly on the article, but that are tangential to the topic, that we think that you could be doing two different things, adding and addressing those questions to make it more insightful. This is normally very related to the content helpfulness analysis. So something that you might see happening is that at the helpfulness analysis, it tells us that, I don't know, that it's not specific enough, that you are not providing enough details about a certain topic. Here, we are giving you all the ideas on how you could expand your article to make it more insightful and more complete. And also, as I was saying, so answering the right questions might give you like a better chance to appear on the snippets on the SERP pages. And we couldn't do that because this in the end is like given story. How can you expand it to make it more interesting? But what about when a story is dying? So the life cycle of stories, it borns, it gets traction, and it dies. It's very common to see that an article dies after 24 hours. So with the expansion ideas, you will see that there is lots of things that you can do in terms of evergreen. So even though it's breaking news, we've tried to provide questions that will help you positioning better on evergreen. But also, we give you ideas on follow-up stories. So most of the times they are pretty nailed down, and the system is going to make you recommendations on stories that you could be writing after the main one when it's starting to die, just to get traction and continue with the flow of everything. So you will see the Canary users, the beta testers that have got access into this were mind blown, especially for these three ones, okay? And also for the headlines, especially when you've been like intense users of A/B testing, because then the model is deeply trained, and also with Google Discover, okay? So those are like working really, really nicely. Last but not least, yeah, so we know that social is a thing. So Twitter, well, we might have different opinions about Twitter, but Facebook is driving a lot of traffic from you. So obviously, and as you will see in a second, we've got direct connection to lots of social networks. So one of them being Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all of those things. We are making you recommendations, well, or giving you ideas on how you could post that on the social networks. Again, given that we have native integration, we are monitoring every single thing that you post into it, and the system is being trained based on your best hits. The posts on Facebook, Twitter that are getting the most, the biggest number of interactions are the ones that the system is going to try to replicate. So again, if you are using emojis, it's going to give you emojis. If you are putting like, the tone, tags, lots of things. And yeah, that's been a lot to cover in terms of prompts and what we call ideas and suggestions. And now, I'm going to change to a different account so we can have a look at the same thing, but in a different language. So again, thanks to our friends here in Spain of El Diario to allow us to make this demo with their data. So this is kind of sandboxed account, so we are not seeing everything. And there is like some of the data that we just tweaked it, just to not disclose any relevant information from them. Again, many thanks for letting us share this. This is Spanish site. Again, I can click on any of the articles, and all in a sudden, this is going to start showing me headline ideas and everything that we were saying, everything right here for you to be used. But we wanted to make this better. Again, remember that this takes the tone of the author and the section. So it's not the same when I speak about politics that when I speak about any kind of fashion things or like affiliation articles. The tone radically changes. So we are taking all these things into consideration. But we think that one of the biggest challenges that we are going to have ahead of us is creating habit in the newsroom for this to be used. This is why, we've added this where lots of our publishers, lots of our editors are, which is on the heads-up display. So starting today, when you go into the homepage, you will see lots of new things. One of them being that, you can click here, and all in a sudden, the Copilot suggestions are right here for homepage editors to use them. And if you like one, you can just click on it, and it's going to automatically create the A/B test for you to start experimenting. So and when you navigate into any of the articles, you are going to have all the suggestions and ideas right there for everyone to use them. And I want to make sure that we share with you a little bit the philosophical principles that we followed when creating a Marfeel Copilot. The first thing is that we want to fully empower editors. Okay, we want to gain their time back to focus on the parts that they love about their job. And mostly, we want to spark new ideas for editors just to go and get the inspiration, okay, so they can be on top of things. We want to make the blank canvas a thing of the past, and we are not into rewriting anything. We don't want the system to write stories on your behalf. We blindly believe that this is your take. And actually, we've been having lots of conversations with, lots of publishers and chief editors, myself, discussing how are they looking into this. And we think it's a fantastic opportunity for the newsroom, for newspapers to focus on trustworthiness and just make sure that you are the go-to for anyone trying to read news and just be properly informed. So the other thing that we will be leveraging AI a lot is to demystify data. We want you to speak to your data and be able to make any random question into it, and without having to learn how the UI works or like the name of the dimensions, and that you can just speak as if you were speaking to your kids.